Hi. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Boker Tov. Let's get started with our music this morning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Yai lai lai lai, 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 lai lai lai. Here we go. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Or Zarua Lat Tzadik Ul Yishra Lev Simcha. Kol haolam kulo Gesher tzar me'od, Gesher tzar me'od, Gesher tzar me'od. Kol haolam kulo Gesher tzar me'od, Gesher tzar me'od. והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. יאללה לי, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, Yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la la la, yai la la la. Mitzvah gerer mitzvah. Avera gerer avera. Oh, mitzvah gerer mitzvah. Gerer mitzvah. Ya la 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 la. Lihiyot tzadik. Zetov. I think we have to try that again. Lihiyot tzadik. I'm trying that again. From the top. Mitzvah gerer mitzvah. Avera gerer avera. Oh, mitzvah gerer mitzvah. Gerer mitzvah. Ya la 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 la. Okay, here we go. Lihiyot tzadik. Zetov. Oh, Zetov. Lihiyot tzadik zemazeh. Tov me'od. Mitzvah gerer mitzvah. Avera gerer avera. Oh, mitzvah gerer mitzvah. Gerer mitzvah. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov. Umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov, umanayim שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. שלום עליכם,
Salam alaikum,
שלום עליכם,
salam alaikum,
again, שלום עליכם,
salam alaikum,
Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov, hine matov. ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
When I say Boker Tov, everybody say Boker Or.
Boker Or!
When I say Boker Tov, everybody say Boker Or.
Boker Or.
Everybody ready? Thumbs up. Everybody ready? Hands in the air. Everybody ready? Wave them around. Boker Tov.
Boker Or! Boker Tov, everybody!
Boker Or.
All right, there's like 19 of you here. I don't know what happened. Everybody was out too late last night with Taylor, I think is the problem. And but we're glad you're here. We're excited that you're here, and we're going to sing and pray. And we just had yesterday was the end of Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh is the start of a new month. We have the it's already behind me, so I won't ask you what month it is. Hey, what month is it? It's ER. That's right, not Eeyore. That's Winnie the Pooh. ER. That's exactly. And so let's sing our month song and remind us of this other spring month that isn't Nisan.
Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev Tevet Shvat Adar
Nisan.
Iyar Sivan Tammuz
Av Elul.
Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev Tevet Shvat Adar Nisan Iyar Sivan Tammuz
Av Elul.
Awesome.
I think we're ready
Ready
for our
for
Hebrew.
Hebrew Town?
Yeah, let's go.
And
Come on down to Hebrew Town.
Now it's time to meet our rootin' tootin' Hebrew team to teach us some Ivrit.
Yeah!
Boker Tov Kulam.
Boker Or.
Each week we have a Hebrew letter to teach you.
This week's letter is Zion, as seen in zebra, zanav, which means tail, and zera, which means seed.
The letter Zion comes after the letter Vav.
That's right, Marah Charlotte.
Todah Marah Reina. I wonder what letter comes after that. Does anyone know?
Let's find out. Do you know Yeladin? The letter that comes after Zion in Shet.
Metsuyan.
Hey, Havarim, do you know who is going to have a Yom Huledet, or birthday, soon? I know. It's Eretz Israel. It's going to be Hey Beyar in the land of Israel. The land of Israel is going to be 75 years old. It's so exciting.
Let's sing for the land of Israel a happy birthday song.
Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Hey, Yeladim v'Yeladot, we have to lalahet. Shalom Kulam, later in the classroom.
Shalom.
Then what do we say? A big Todah Rabbah. Awesome.
So we all seem a little tired, and I think I know the perfect thing to wake them up. Let's stand up
More
for some
caffeine.
Mo de Ani.
Oh, that was
not-
gonna be my next
Not
guess.
caffeine. Seems like we're slow standing up too. Okay, now repeat after me.
After me.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
lefanech,
Melech Chai v'kayam.
melech chai v'kayam.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
lefanech,
Melech Chai v'kayam.
melech chai v'kayam.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
lefanech,
Melech Chai v'kayam.
melech chai v'kayam.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
Lefanecha.
Melech Chai v'kayam.
melech chai v'kayam.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
lefanech,
Melech Chai v'kayam.
melech chai v'kayam.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
Lefanech.
Melech Chai v'kayam.
Melech
chai v'kayam.
Mo de Ani.
Mo de ani,
Mo da Ani.
mo da ani,
Lefanecha.
lefanech,
Melech Chai v'kayam.
melech chai v'kayam.
All right. You ready to rap?
We are.
Yep.
Okay.
Troy, can we get our beat?
I said ho. I said hey. I said, are you ready to pray?
I said ho, I said hey, I said are you ready to pray?
Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. Let's come together to pray.
Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. Let's come together to pray.
I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is how we make a minion.
I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is how we make a minion.
I said hey, I said you. Now let's all stand up for Baruch.
I said hey, I said you. Now let's all stand up for Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. TAs, will you lead us?
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. And while we are standing, let's get ready for our sign language and our Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your heart and all your soul, with all your might. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Take these words that I command this day and keep them in your heart. Take these words that I command this day and keep them in your heart. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God.
Yeah.
Israel time.
Israel time.
It's Israel time. We've been doing a song. That's written in a weird key. Where is that one? Im Tirtzu. We tried that last time. We learned it with cancer.
Okay.
You
What
ready?
does it mean?
Im Tirtzu.
Yeah.
If you will.
If I will.
If you will. If you will. Enzo Agada. Does anybody remember? We talked about it last week. Who remembers?
Yeah.
Im Tirtzu. If you will. Everybody say, if you will.
If you will.
No, but I didn't see the arms. If you will.
If you
Oh, there they are. Enzo Agada. If you will, there is a way.
Oh.
Is that true?
Yeah, what?
No. Maybe.
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
If there will, there is a
Israel
way.
is proof of that.
If there isn't, Israel is
Yeah.
proof of that.
Yeah.
Im Tirtzu, here we go. Im Tirtzu, Im Tirtzu, Enzo Agada, Enzo Agada, la 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 la. Liotam foshi be'artzeinu, be'eretz, Eretz, Zion,
Zion.
Yerushalayim, Tirtzu, Im Tirtzu, Enzo Agada, Enzo Agada, la 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 la. Liotam foshi be'artzeinu, be'eretz, Eretz, Zion,
Zion.
Yerushalayim.
Cheers to a song that never
Yeah, we can go over
ends.
and over and over. That's right.
Boker Tov Kulam. Good morning, everyone. It is so good to be with you here today, this morning. We have a lot going on right now. This is the time of year when things start to overlap. Today is a very special day. How special is it? It is so special that we have like 3 or 4 kind of holiday things happening right now. So yesterday was a secular holiday. Does anybody know what yesterday was? Earth Day, that's right. Yesterday was Earth Day. Yesterday was the day when we think about our planet and we think about how we take care of our planet. And of course, we have our own, in our Jewish tradition, we have our own Earth Day. Does anybody know what that's called? Does anybody remember from back in January? Tu B'Shvat, right. But yesterday was secular Earth Day. We also learned from Rabbi Fixler today that we are in a new month. Our new month is ER, right? And so the fact that we are in the month of ER means that we are doing something really important right now. We are, so Passover is over, right? Is everybody finished digesting their matzah finally? Yeah, Passover is over, and we are counting a week of weeks. We are counting 7 weeks between Passover and what's our next holiday? Well, Shabbat, thank God, Shabbat comes every week. We are very grateful for that. But Shavuot is our next holiday. And in between Passover and Shavuot, we do something called we count the Omer. We count a week of weeks between Passover and Shavuot. And when we count in the morning, there's not a blessing. We're supposed to count in the evening before we go to sleep. But today is the 17th day of the Omer. It's been 17 days since the second day of Passover, which means that it has been 2 weeks and 3 days of the Omer. And one of the things that is important about the Omer refers to the barley harvest in the land that we just talked about. Israel, that's right. And coming up on Tuesday evening and into Wednesday we learned with our Hebrew team, is the birthday of Israel, right? And this year it is the 75th birthday of Israel. And that holiday we call Yom HaAtzmaut. Can we all say that together? Yom HaAtzmaut. So lots of things going on. And there'll be big community celebrations at the JCC both next Wednesday and the following Sunday. So be on the lookout for information about those things. But in the meantime, all these things happening at the same time got me thinking about a story. And it's a story about 2 people who were among the group of Israelites who were wandering in the desert after they left. Where did they leave? Egypt, that's right. During the holiday of Passover, they left Egypt and they were wandering through the desert. And 40 years later, they finally make it to the land of Israel, that's right. And they were standing there and they were looking. They got there, and remember, they've been in the desert for 40 years, right? And they reached there, and they're looking at the beautiful orchards and the beautiful trees and the fields, and they had no idea what they were looking at. What a strange sight it was, because you see, everyone who was standing and looking at this, these people were born in the desert. They had never seen orchards or trees or anything like these things. All they knew about was sand and maybe some bushes, maybe a little water, but they didn't know what they were looking at. So as they were all gazing at this, a little girl tugs on her mom's leg and she says, "Mommy, what is all this? What are these things we're looking at in this beautiful land?" And the mother scratches her head and she says, "Well, I do remember my mother telling me about things that she saw in Egypt. I think those big brown pillars are called trees, and the things that are hanging from them, those round things, are called," I heard apples and leaves, right? The fruit, right? And those fruits, when you eat them, they are sweet and delicious. And those brown stalks, the wheat and the barley that are blowing in the wind, they get collected and they get pounded up into a little dust. And when mixed with some things, they're heated and baked and they become the most delicious bread. This is what my mother told me. And the little girl says, "Wow, Mom, it's pretty amazing that God put those things in the ground for everyone. They're so beautiful. It was really great of God to put them there." And the mother said, "You know what? I don't think that's how it worked. Give me your hand." And the mother takes the hand of her daughter and says, "Show me your pinky finger." And the little girl takes her pinky and she pushes down a bit of her finger so that the tiniest bit of her pinky fingernail is exposed. And they're both peering at it together. And the mother says, "There's something called a seed." And our Onward Hebrew team today told us what the Hebrew word for seed was. Did anybody pick that up? It starts with our letter of the day, which is Zion. Is Zerah. And they're both looking at it together, and there's something called a seed and the size of your nail, and that goes into the ground. And with sunlight and water and nutrients from the ground, over time, that seed grows into beautiful things. The wheat becomes tall, the trees become strong, the fruit comes from those trees for us to eat, and these things become all of the beautiful things that God has given to us. And the little girl looks at her mother and says, Mom, it's really not nice of you to trick me. I don't like stories. What do you mean, sweetheart? The mother asks. And she says, every day when we've been in the desert, I see how God gives us manna from heaven, and I see that we get twice as much on Fridays for Shabbat. I see every day we take drinks from Miriam's well, and that well has been following us all through our time in the desert, so we have something to drink. And delicious quail comes down for us to enjoy as well. And I've heard the story about how God parted the Red Sea so we could go from slavery in Egypt to here. That's a story I know really well. And I understand these things, Mommy, because they are so natural. But please, really, don't try to fool me. It's not nice. Big, beautiful trees, grain that makes bread, fruits all coming from a tiny seed the size of my fingernail. Such miracles, even I know that's not possible. And so, thinking about that story and thinking about that little girl and her understanding of the seed, my blessing for all of us today is that we take this day when we are overlapping with Earth Day and Israel's birthday and counting the Omer and thinking about all of those things, that we think about how a tiny seed or a tiny thought of an idea can become a miracle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Announcement time.
Okay, I have some announcements for you. Next week is our third grade service. Third graders should arrive no later than 8:50 wearing their special t-shirts, please. Parents are encouraged to attend. A reception will follow the service, as well as a parent information session and Q&A about our Hebrew program. Also next week at 10:30, Rabbi Hayon and Elise Spector-Kalmans invite all parents of Helfman Religious School to learn about the exciting plans to expand and improve learning and gathering spaces at Emmanuel. Please register using the link in the Helfman Herald. Also, early bird enrollment for the 23-24 school year is now open. Save $75 per child, half the registration fee by enrolling by the end of April. And on Tuesday, April 25th at 7, that's this Tuesday, we hope you will join us for Cantor's concert celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's 75th birthday. 3 cantors are flying in as we speak from all over the country to join her in what will be a really, really awesome concert. So you can purchase those tickets on our website or at the door.
And more Israel.
Obviously.
More Israel.
Yeah.
So more Israel, it's not time to stand up. We learned this last week and we had a really good time to get that energy going. Hands up in the air, big stretch, and let's make that big circle together. Let's see if we remember it all. It goes like this. Ooga, ooga, ooga. במעגל נהוגה, turn, נסתובב אל כל היום, עד אשר נמצא מקום, לשבת, לשבת, לקום, לשבת, לקום, לשבת ולקום. Got it? Okay, here we go. Ready? And ooga, 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 במעגל נהוגה. מסתובב אל כל היום, עד אשר נמצא מקום. Fast, לשבת, לקום, לשבת, לקום, לשבת ולקום. Faster? Yeah. One more time faster, here we go, ready, and ooga, 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 במעגל נהוגה, מסתובב אל כל היום, עד אשר נמצא מקום. לשבת, לקום, לשבת, לקום. Lashevet velakum. Great job, everybody. You faster.
Right, now
Maybe
I'm
next
exhausted.
Week faster.
Okay.
How's that? Whew. I don't know if I can do it faster.
Alrighty. They're ready to go. All right. Well, we're going to get you to class so you can do all kinds of fun learning.
And we're going to dismiss. Who's dismissing first? Pre-K. You guys are dismissed. That's the wrong key. Amen. Amen, Amen, Yisrael Chai, Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai, Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai, Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai. Oh, David Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Amen. Am Yisrael Chai. Third grade. Amen. Amen. Am Yisrael Chai. Amen. Amen. Am Yisrael Chai. Amen. Amen. Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Second grade, you guys are dismissed. Second grade. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo third grade, second grade, and kindergarten. You guys can go. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. You can dismiss. Salam.
First grade.
Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Hey, ve'nu Shalom Alechem. Alechem, hey, ve'nu Shalom. Hey, ve'nu Shalom Alechem. Alechem, hey, ve'nu Shalom. Hinei matoku manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matoku manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Oh, baby. Ve'nu Shalom Alechem. Alechem, hey, ve'nu. Alechem, hey, ve'nu. Alechem, hey, ve'nu. Shalom. That was unsuccessful. I mean, not breaking a string was
Stay
unsuccessful.
if you want.
Oh, you broke a string?
No, I tried to.
Oh.
They're ready to be changed, so I tried to play hard. Am I live? Am I good? Are we here? Good morning. All right. All right, good morning. Let's get started. Here we go. Or Zarua, Ratzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Ratzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, Ratzadik, Ul Yisrael Simcha. Ul Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yisrael Simcha. Ul Yisrael Simcha. Yai lai lai lai. 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 Lai. Latzadik Ul Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ul Yisrael Simcha. Mitzvah, gereret mitzvah. Aver, gereret, avera. Oh, mitzvah, gereret mitzvah. Gereret mitzvah. Ya la 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 la. Lihiyot tzadik. Zetov. Zetov. Lihiyot tzadik. Zetov. Tov me oh 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 oh. Mitzvah, gereret mitzvah. Aver, gereret, avera. Oh, mitzvah, gereret mitzvah. Gereret mitzvah. Ya la 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 la. Lihiyot tzadik. Zetov. Zetov. We're gonna try that again. We definitely have to try that again.
It can be loud.
And Lihiyot tzadik. Zetov. Zetov. Lihiyot tzadik. Zemazeh. Tov me oh 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 oh. Mitzvah, gereret mitzvah. Avera, gereret, avera. Oh, mitzvah, gereret mitzvah. Gereret mitzvah. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov, hine matov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. How good it is,
How good it is.
how sweet it is,
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
How good it is.
how sweet it is,
How sweet it is.
to be together on this day. Hine matov, hine matov, umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is,
How good it is.
how sweet it is,
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
How good it is
how sweet it is,
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. Let's hear you. Hine matov, hine matov, umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim sheverachim gam yachad.
Boker Tov, everybody.
Boker or.
Oh, it is so good to see you. We just had Rosh Chodesh, which is the beginning of a new Hebrew month, which means we are no longer in the month of Nisan. We are in the month of ER. The answer is right behind me. No, it's not. Oh, okay. Now it's right behind me. So thank you to the people who knew it without having to see it on the slide. We're now in the Hebrew month of?
Yar.
Fantastic. So let's sing our Hebrew month song.
And let's hear and give proud ER when we get to ER. You ready for that?
Proud ER.
A proud ER.
We'll see how proud we are
All right, let's see.
of ER. Okay.
Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev Tevet Shvat Adar Nisan Iyar Sivan Tammuz Av Elul Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev Tevet Shvat Adar Nisan Iyar Sivan Tammuz Av Elul.
Faster.
Faster.
Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev Tevet Shvat Adar Nisan Iyar Sivan Tammuz Av Elul. T.
Monkeys laugh, trot on donkeys
On ER. See about That was pretty fast.
All right. Well, yes.
I think some of
maybe
us
next
are
time.
awake, but I
Okay.
think some of us are still asleep, and I think we're gonna need to do some moda and to wake some of us up. So everyone stand up.
Woo.
Now, I challenge you guys on this one to be louder than me when you repeat.
Okay.
I think it might be challenging. Some of you are kind of tired. What do you think? You guys can be louder than me?
Let's do it.
Okay. I do have a microphone on
Yeah,
it.
but there are a lot of you.
There are a lot. Turn the microphone down a bit. That will make things easier for you.
Here we go.
You're up to the challenge. You got this.
Moda'ani.
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 Lefanecha. Melechai v'kayam. Moda'ani.
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 Lefanecha.
Lefanecha.
Melechai v'kayam.
Melechai v'kayam. Okay, like this section was
This
louder than
side
you,
is
but
really
this
loud.
section was not louder than you.
No. How does that happen?
I don't
Half
know.
and half.
This half's tired, this half's not.
While you're standing up, it's that time for our Baruchu. Please join me. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. TAs, will you lead us?
Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach. Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Leolam Vaed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Leolam Vaed.
Shema?
Shema.
Let's do it.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam
You may be seated, and I invite anybody up who would like to do the Ve'ahavta with us, including all of our 7th graders and bar mitzvah classes.
Come on down.
All right, Ve'ahavta team, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך
והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Israel. How fun is Israel? I love it. Join me when a song we learn together. In tier 2, it goes a little bit like this. And that's the wrong key. Let's try that again. In tier 2, in tier 2, Ein zo agada, Ein zo agada, la 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 la, Lihiot chofshi be'artzeinu, be'eretz, Zion, Zion, Yerushalayim, tier 2, in tier 2, Ein zo agada, Ein zo agada, la la la, Lihiot chofshi be'artzeinu, be'eretz, Zion, Zion, Yerushalayim.
All right, we are going to, in just a second, rise for our Amidah, and I want to remind you that since we just passed Passover, when we get to the Givurot, one of the lines in the Givurot has changed because our prayers reflect the season. So instead of praying for rain, we are now praying for dew with the words Morid Hatal. So pay special attention because what you're used to has changed slightly. So if you will please rise for our Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
You may be seated, and we are going to take just a few moments for silent prayer. And if you can't think of what to say during silent prayer, make a list of 5 things you're thankful for today. We're going to take a few moments to pray silently.
Oh, say shalom, Imroma, Huya, say shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oh, say shalom, say shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma ruya, say shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
Boker Tov Kulam. Good morning, everybody. It is really, really good to be here with all of you today. This time of the year, it starts to feel like things are coming one after another and kind of cascading on each other as we're sort of heading into the end of the school year and everything else is going on. And this week is particularly exemplary of that. We have a lot of things going on this week. Yesterday was a secular holiday. Anybody know what yesterday was? Somebody said it over there. Earth Day, yeah. Yesterday was Earth Day, which is our day to take note of our environment and our impacts upon it. What's our Jewish holiday? That's the same thing, the same kind of idea. But we did it in January. Tu B'Shvat, yeah, Tu B'Shvat. Yeah, excellent. And as we note from our music, right, this week is also the week of the Yoms, right? So last week we had Yom HaShoah, and this week we have Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. What is Yom HaAtzmaut? Anybody know? Yes. Israel's Independence Day, right. So what's the secular version of, what's the U.S. version of that? July 4th, yeah. And this year is a particularly special one. This year is Israel's 75th birthday. And we have a really special celebration coming up here on Tuesday night that Rabbi Fixler will tell you about a little bit more. And there are also special celebrations in the community at the JCC next Wednesday and next Sunday. And the other thing that's happening in this time of year, so we talked about how we changed our Givurot prayer, right? So we're past Passover, and we are not quite yet to the end of the school year. We are not quite yet to the holiday that sort of ends our calendar on the school year calendar, which is Shavuot. Thank you. And in between Passover and Shavuot, we count a week of weeks. We count 49 days. We count, and we refer to it as counting the Omer. Why? Because in the land of Israel, the barley harvest happens during this time. So the Omer refers to the barley, but we count a week of weeks. And so today happens to be the 17th day of the Omer, and we count it in weeks as well as in days. So today is the 17th day, which is 2 weeks and, who can do math? 3 days, very good, of the Omer. And so having all of these things happen together made me think of a story. And it's a story about the generation of Israelites who were wandering in the desert. So when the Israelites left Egypt, that was which holiday? Passover, right? And then they spent 40 years in the desert before they were going to be permitted to enter the land of Israel. Why? So that a new generation could grow up, right? So this generation who was born in the desert only knew the desert. And when they got to the land of Israel and they looked out over the vista of where they were going to go, they saw things they had never seen before. They saw beautiful orchards and rich fields and all of the lushness of the land of Israel that they had never seen before, because this was a generation who had grown up in the desert. And so as they're standing there, a child turns to their mother and says, "What's up with this stuff? What is all this? What's all this?" Right? And the mother says, "Well, I remember my mother telling me about things like this that she saw in Egypt. I think those big brown things that stick up, I think those are called trees. And I think the things that are hanging for them are called fruit. And that when we eat the fruit, that they're really sweet and delicious. And I think the brown stuff that's kind of flowing in waves, I think that's what's called wheat and barley." Right? We're in the time of the barley harvest. And the girl says, well, what do they do? And the mother says, well, the trees give shade and they give the fruits, and when you take them, they're delicious. And the wheat and the barley, when you cut it and you grind it up, and it makes delicious, delicious bread. That's what my mother told me about these things. And the child says, well, I don't think that's how this works. I mean, it's pretty amazing that God put these things in the ground, but they're really beautiful, and it was really great of God to put them there, but what's going on with these things? And the mother says, well, here's where they come from. And she has the child hold up their pinky. And he says, there are little things that are about the size of your pinky nail, and they're called seeds. And we heard the Hebrew word for seed. We heard it when we were singing Or Zarua earlier, because Zerah is the word for seed. Right? So we're seeds of light, or Zarua. And so seeds, and with sunlight and water and nutrients from the ground, over time, a little tiny seed, no bigger than your pinky, can grow into all of these beautiful things. Well, the child turns to the mother and says, you're kidding me, right? I mean, really? You think you can pull one over on me? That can't possibly be true. Look, I understand about how manna comes from the sky. And I understand about how Miriam's well follows us so that we always have water to drink. And I understand about the quail that come that we can enjoy also. But you mean to tell me that something like this, something no bigger than the size of my pinky, can grow into something like a tree, and something big and something tall and something beautiful and something that gives us fresh things to eat? I don't know. And the mother says, well, God's miracles work in all kinds of ways. And so from this story, my blessing for all of us today is that we think about how we see the world and the assumptions that we're making about how we see the world. And if we can find a place where we can be challenged by one tiny seed, whether it's a seed that grows, or whether it's the seed of an idea. And that's my blessing for all of us as we head into this week. And I think we have a little more Israel singing to do.
We have a little more Israel singing. I invite you all to stand in honor of Yom Ha'atzmaut and Israel for Hatikvah.
כל עוד בלב הפנימה, נפש יהודי הומייה, ופאתי מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות אלפיים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. All right, you may be seated. It's interesting, just like a very quick thought. In America, when we say the national anthem and we stand up, there's one other thing that you're supposed to do, where you put your hand on your heart, and there's one other thing that you do in America when you say the national anthem, which is what? You take your hat off. If you're wearing a hat, you take your hat off. Because in America, it's a sign of respect to remove your hat. But in Israel, when we say the national anthem, they don't do that. Why do you think that is? Oh, this is, yes. Why do you think that is? Shout it out. Yes, in the blue shirt. Because you wear kippot. In Israel, keeping your head covered is a sign of respect. And so in Israel, you wouldn't take your kippah off to say the Pledge of Allegiance, because that would be disrespectful. There's one of those interesting ways that Israel is unique, in that you leave your hat on, your head covering on, to say Hatikva. Okay. So, speaking of Yom HaAtzmaut, speaking of Israeli Independence Day, Tuesday, April 25th starts Yom HaAtzmaut, and we are having a very special concert here at Emmanuel of all kinds of music from throughout Israel's history and music that tells the story of Israel, with Cantor Simmons and 3 other cantors from all over the country, one from California, one from Chicago, one from New Jersey, so literally from all over the country, who are flying in as we speak to lead our community in our celebration of Yom HaAtzmaut. So we hope you will tell your adults that you really want to go to that, because it's going to be fabulous. And our youth choir is performing, and it's going to be really terrific. And so we are going to end with a American melody of an Israeli song.
This is true.
Yes. Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live.
4th and 5th grade, you guys are dismissed. Amen, 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 Yisrael Chai. 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 Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. 6th, 7th, you are dismissed. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Ve'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Right on time.
Nailed it. Okay, cool. Goodbye.